All right, let's just jump right into it. Today, we're going deep on one of the wildest concepts from the apotheosis of the Mad Rune King. And that's how the world itself literally bends, breaks, and reshapes itself around the main character. This isn't just some static background scenery, you know? It's a living, breathing mirror of his mind.
The whole thing kicks off with this really powerful, kind of cryptic line. The environment is the final cage broken. So what on earth does that actually mean? Well, it's the key. It sets the stage for this massive idea that reality, as we know it, isn't solid. It's a construct, and it can be shattered.
So, Section 1, A World of Illusions. Before everything goes sideways, you've got to understand the world Wotan starts in. It's our world. It has rules. It seems to make sense. The source has this amazing term for that stability, the green gold. You can think of it as the shared operating system for reality that everyone agrees to run. It's all the illusions of social order, morality, and logic, these enlightenment filters that keep everything feeling consistent and, safe. It's the glue. And all this is happening in the 19th century, which is just the perfect pressure cooker. On the one hand, you've got this new rigid industrial machine logic chugging along, all steel and soot and order. But simmering just underneath is what the source calls an ancient, untamed void. It's like a thin sheet of ice over a very deep, very dark ocean. Okay, so we've got our tense but stable reality. Now, in Section 2, we're going to watch it all get torn apart. Welcome to the calculated descent. And here's our guy, Wotan. Now, this is absolutely crucial. He doesn't just go mad. This is a calculated descent. He's not falling. He is diving, head first. He is deliberately taking a sledgehammer to his own mind, rewriting his own source code, all to become this new kind of being, the Overman. So, how in the world does he do that? The catalyst is something called divine lightning. But this isn't your average spell casting. It's a form of chaos magic, where Wotan doesn't just use it, he becomes it. He inhabits the storm. And this internal lightning is what just torches those green-gold filters, not just in his head, but in the world around him. And this is the pivot. His internal demolition job starts bleeding out into the external world. Which brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing. Section 3, when reality becomes a mirror. This is where things get truly strange. I mean, this quote just nails it. Reality ceases to be an external theater to be conquered and instead becomes a direct projection of his own expanding will. Just think about that for a second. The wall between me and the world completely evaporates. He's not an actor on the stage anymore. He is the stage, the lighting, the script, the whole shebang. So how does this evaporation of the other actually happen? It's really a three-step process. First, Wotan rewrites his soul with what are called mad runes. Step 2, because his internal logic is now fundamentally alien, the boundary between him and the world dissolves. And finally, Step 3, the world itself becomes a projector screen for his will, acting like a psychological lightning rod that grounds his inner chaos into physical reality. And this new landscape he creates, it has three main characteristics. 1, malevolent purpose. The world isn't neutral anymore. It feels actively hostile to anyone clinging to the old rules. 2, fragmentation of the material. Reality starts to glitch. It loses its consistency. And 3, the big one, projection of the will. It's a feedback loop where the world reflects his madness back at him, which just makes him more certain he's right. You can see this happening in the cities. Suddenly, the steel and the soot aren't just there. They're cogs in a psychic machine. The factories, the smog, the buildings, everything starts vibrating with Wotan's strange new purpose. The whole city is humming his tune. And it's not just the man-made world. Out in the deep woods, the shadows begin to lengthen and animate. The ancient forests start to reflect this new soul of his, one that's totally untethered from human norms. Nature itself becomes this unsettling mirror to his inner wilderness. So, all of this leads to the central burning question of the entire story, our fourth section. Is this madness or is it superior perception? And it all comes down to your point of view. For a normal observer, someone still plugged into that green gold reality, what they see is total cognitive and biological collapse. It's terrifying, unstable chaos, a world without a moral compass. But from Wotan's perspective, he sees superior perception. He doesn't think he's insane. He thinks he's finally seeing the shimmering, vital truth of the universe now that the rational blinders are off. So where does all this end? What's the final result? That brings us to our last section, the sovereign of the uncanny. In the end, this warped, uncanny world becomes the physical proof of what's called his tragic triumph. The fact that reality literally remade itself to match his mind proves that he succeeded. He replaced the old laws of the universe with his own. You could say the world is his trophy. And this earns him a new title, the sovereign of the uncanny. This is so key. He's not the king of some static piece of land. He rules over a reality that is always in flux, perpetually becoming, never resting, and always dangerous. He's the master of a living, breathing chaos. And this last line from the source just says it all. He is the only entity capable of standing amidst this self-created storm without being consumed. His real power isn't just in creating the chaos, it's that he's the only one who can stand in the middle of it and not be torn apart. He is the eye of his own hurricane. Which leaves us with one final, pretty heavy question to think about. If you could rewrite reality based on your own will, how would the world see you? As a complete madman? Or would they have no other choice but to call you a king?